The Devil's Soul, Book 1, Chapter 6, Section 7, Phoenix, Arizona, 1939. Greta soon met the handful of other young women at the school, mostly coming from middle-class religious families like hers, and most of there to learn to be a pastor's wife and more precisely meet that pastor. In truth, there was much to learn at this school for a female future evangelist or church employee, women needing to stay mostly among women, and unlike in Catholic circles, they really couldn't be alone, even formally, like in confession with men. So it became often the role of women to do pastoral work, and women who could do such work helped churches thrive via collection plates. When women gather in close quarters, I picture chimpanzees picking lice off each other's skin, verbal grooming, the mammer of mamas, futurist sibilants sing-song, often overlapping the song of the interlocutor, adding a third and fourth woman in. There are now three people talking at once, two to two others, one to all four, and one to three others. The conversation threads even exceeding my processing power, requiring me to back up in time multiple times if I even care enough to know all the topics included. Clothing, dealing with weather, with the barrier clothing. Leland's wife was a kind of den mother who dazzled some of the girls with her bourgeois pretensions. Mrs. Intrenkin is a part of Phoenix society and was generally well regarded, being attentive and warm to sometimes nervous and homesick girls. Finally, Roy Bancroft was a topic, a bachelor in his mid-30s, or was he a widower? They said in a whisper. He was handsome but kind of quiet unless he was at the pulpit, which was in contrast to Leland's more fast-talking, affable, down-home Arkansas ways. Quick-witted, close-talking, given to fanciful language and sudden monologues about current events and the possible end times. One girl in particular continued to assail Greta with the topic of Mr. Bancroft. He had left briefly to attend to his other churches in California, but he would be returning by the time class began to do some sermonizing and to reinforce and enliven the drier doctrinal lessons the girls would be getting into soon enough. Greta was asked by the young lady her age, 19, if Greta was disapproving of a possible match with this man twice her age. She didn't say. These things did happen in those days as they do now, but the life of a young woman would embark on in such a scenario would find her catching up in age quickly to her husband, he growing old slowly in his 40s and 50s, while she might be spent and broken by childbearing and child rearing and housekeeping by 35. If Greta wanted something else from life, she never let on in her diaries of no help. She kept a diary years before and had written in it about the red light district in her town where she grew up, asking fascinating rhetorical questions about exactly what women would do for how much money and how they avoided pregnancy and shame, and most of all, how many men did they need to be with before they knew what to do so well that they could charge for it. Was there a school for the future ill-reputed? Her father found her diary. He kept it. Her mother then spoke to her about God and purity, and soon after he came home one evening with news about this Phoenix Bible Institute and said rather mildly with a smile, "You have always been a good older sister. Perhaps you could go study the Bible, maybe eventually be a Sunday school teacher." When Papa put it like that, it sounded grand, and the sting of her shame about her sexual curiosity and her slight defensiveness about not getting her diary back abated.